Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I guess you all missed me because I missed you all. Today's video is going to be a baking video as promised. If you noticed in my introduction video, I said I would be sharing recipes in this channel and all. So today we are going to be baking vanilla cake. So come on guys, cheer me up. Alright, so before we get into the video, this is me reminding you all to please give this video a thumbs up, because I know that you'll be learning lots and lots of new things. And please hit the subscribe button. I noticed that a lot of people viewed my intro video and then I had just few subscribers. Don't be scared. Subscription is very free. Like, it's free of charge. No one is charging you to subscribe. All you have to do is have a valid email address and then log into your YouTube, which comes with virtually every phone. When you log in, just hit the button and you've subscribed. You just need your data and then your email address, and then you gain lots and lots of important things. And also, lastly, turn on that notification bell. It is very important, because after watching this video, you'll know why I told you to turn on that bell. When you turn it on, whenever I post new videos, you'll be well informed and you will know. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Most of these ingredients can be found in any cake shop in your area. We have our granulated sugar, please not cast ice in a cube, granulated sugar. Then we have our butter. I always prefer Seamas because it's unsalted and its flavor and aroma, it's wow. I always love Seamas and its fluffy results. Initially I used Napa, but to an extent recently it's just unavailable in my area. So if you have this, it gives nice result as well. We have our flour. This is a multi-purpose flour. You can use this, it can be changed to a cake flour, but for now we just have our flour. Then we have fresh egg. Oh, nothing gives cake its fluffiness than fresh egg. Avoid bad egg because it can change your entire recipe. Then we have our flavor. I love industrial flavors because they are concentrated, nice, but they are expensive. So if you can't afford this, they can be measured by any cake dealer. But if they refuse to do so, just stick to the bottle. I love Foster Clarks because they are second to none. They are really nice. Then we have our measuring tools. You cannot have a good recipe without the right measurement, so this is a must, guys. It is a must. They are calibrated. Then we have a hand mixer. If you don't have this, you can stick to the local way, which I started with. We can use the wooden spatula. This is called the local Gary turner, and I know every Nigerian has this in their house. So we have our wicks, which is used to whisk the egg if you don't have a hand mixer. So please, this should also be a must because your egg must be fluffy. And then the timer. I always love using a timer because I love timing whatever I do to avoid burnt cake. This is a summary of the measurement. If you have a weighing balance, you can use this measurement, but if not, I also made available for those who are using spoons and cup, which are calibrated. This is the measurement you're to use. Please note teaspoons and tablespoons, please. Right into the day's business. First, measure out your margarine, and then as you can see, I'm using my hand mixer to cream the margarine. Make sure you're using the top speed, which is 3, to make sure that it's well mixed and fluffy. Trust me guys, if you don't have this, you can as well use the wooden spatula I showed. But then if you're using the hand mixer, you can cream for about 10 to 15 minutes. But if not, if you're using the wooden spatula, because it's slow, you would have to cream for about 15 to 20 minutes. And whenever you're creaming, make sure you scrape the side at interval to avoid unmixed margarine, because if you're not scraping the side, you'll notice that the down is not well mixed. Okay, I forgot to add that normally the margarine is deep yellow, but as you cream, you find out that it gets to pale yellow and even double in size. So that is what the creaming does. It changes the deep yellow to pale yellow, and then it doubles in size. So make sure you cream very well to have results. You cannot over mix while creaming. You can cream to have a very smooth and light texture. Like, it has to be light to give this cake the buoyancy to rise very well. So make sure you cream very well. Now if you look at the texture, you find out that the thick butter has become ice cream like, and the aroma, you know, I always tell you I prefer simmers. The aroma is second to none. Sometimes you feel like eating it just like this because the aroma is really enticing, and see how fluffy it is. So after you've gotten to this, turn on your oven to preheat and then start with your egg. You'll be needing 4 large eggs, but then if you're using a medium sized egg, you'll use just 4. And then using my scale, I measured out my 250 grams of flour and 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1 teaspoon, guys. If you buy the spoon, you find out that you have tablespoons, teaspoons. So I'm using just 1 teaspoon. So make sure, I always prefer to measure in my sieve, so when I'm sieving it, it will mix properly. Then afterwards, I'll also use my wooden spatula to mix, so everything will be well incorporated, my baking powder and my multi-purpose flour. Now I didn't show where I whisked my egg, but I did that with my hand mixer. So it is time to start incorporating into my cake. When doing this, it is important first you put your egg, so you cream very well to have a more lighter texture, guys. Like, it is very important you start with your egg to have a lighter texture, because once you start adding your flour, you might over mix, and at the end of the day you will have a cake that is sunken. Like, it will sink in the middle. I don't know if I got that English right, but that is what it is. So after you've added your egg, this is the result you get. Now alternatively, you alternate adding your egg and adding your flour. I just want to show you what the texture will look like. It will look lighter and more ice cream like. Trust me, it's nice. So after this, you add your flour. If you add your flour, you add your egg. I used a higher measurement because I'm doing for 500 grams, but the measurement I gave is for 250. So while mixing with your hand mixer, you will use the lowest speed, that is 1. And if you notice, what I started doing here is folding. I started folding in. I wasn't mixing to avoid over mixing. Like, I was just folding it in, and once it's incorporated, don't over mix. Just add the next thing, which is the egg. Alternate the addition of egg and flour till you've added everything that is required for it. So as you can see, I also added the egg. You keep adding this way until you finish adding the required flour and the required egg. So guys, to avoid over mixing, I use 1. If you're using your spatula, all you have to do is folding. Now I've added my clear vanilla flavor. I use clear vanilla this period. This gives you the aroma you want. You can add this immediately you add your egg, or you can add it after you finish incorporating both your multi-purpose flour and your eggs. Next, you grease your pan with oil, with either butter or even the pan spray, but in this case I use butter, and then I lined with my parchment paper to enable the cake come out neatly without breakage when it's done baking. When you're done transferring your batter into the pan, ensure you tap on a hard surface to release air bubbles, then bake. Note the time for baking. Baking might take longer time depending on your oven or the stove you're using, so make sure you preheat. Here is our result, guys. Like I mentioned, I baked more than 250, but the measurement I gave can go for 250 and all. I used this for a customer's cake. Here is the end result. So stick by this channel. You will learn fondant recipe, buttercream recipe, how to cover cake. Like, I'll take you through everything you need to know. So stick by me and support me. You will learn a lot. Tip I promised for this important tips, and yes, you'll be getting it. Thank you for sticking to this part, because for you to have come to the end of this video and getting to see me again, it means you have done a good job. So thank you so much. So for the tips, remember I've been mentioning that before you bake, you have to preheat your oven. It is really important you preheat your oven before you bake your cake. You don't just on your oven and then you put in your cake. No matter how good your recipe is, if you don't preheat your oven, you end up having an undercooked cake or a cake that has collapsed in the middle. These cakes, they don't need to adjust. All they need to do is get into an oven that has a stable temperature, and then before you know it, they start cooking up, you know. And as well, when you have microbes that maybe you have picked up due to poor hygiene practice during your mixture, whenever it gets into the oven with a stable temperature, with a preheat oven, you find out that those microbes are inhibited from growing. So it is very important that you have a preheated oven. Want to make sure that your cake rises to the required amount, cooked well, like it cooks very well, it is well done. And then lastly, that whatever bacteria that is in that cake or whatever pan you're using is completely killed. Now secondly, it is also important that after baking, make sure that whenever you're checking if your cake is well cooked or done, it should be about 30 minutes after you've inserted it into the oven. Why? Because if you keep opening it, it will end up collapsing. Like I always use the word collapse. I'm going to show you an image of what a collapsed cake look like. So 30 minutes after it is established that that cake to an extent is done. So when you insert the skewer and it comes out clean, you have in mind that that cake is well done. Now, cake varies in their cooking time depending on your oven. You have ovens that bake cake for 45 minutes. You also have some that stays 50 minutes, some stays an hour or an hour plus. So it is very important you also note the time it takes your oven to get your cake baked. So stick to your recipe, use the required equipment, the required ingredients, apply the normal precautions needed for baking, and trust me, you'll enjoy the sweet recipe. You would give your testimonies, and yes, please subscribe, and God bless you. See you same time, same channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. Don't be like my village people. I'll repeat it again because some of them are not nice. So